Hey there everybody, my name is Brian Ewald and I'm here at the PRS factory in Maryland having a look at the PRS SE P20 and P20E, which are parlor-sized acoustics that are bringing a whole new voice to the SE acoustic lineup. So let me quickly explain the name. The P20, the P is referring to the fact that it's a parlor, which is a smaller sized acoustic, and the 20, just as it is with the other SE acoustics, is referring to the fact that it has a mahogany back and sides. This also has a mahogany top. The only difference with the P20E is that it adds the electronics with the onboard Fishman pickup system. If you're not familiar already, there's a pretty wide definition of what a parlor guitar is. Typically very small bodies, smaller than even the smallest of concert bodies, a lot more narrow in the bout, typically a little bit thinner too. And although they're still fairly loud, they seem loud, they're much more focused in the mid-range, so they don't have all the low end that you get typically in a dreadnought or a jumbo-sized guitar. But because there's so much mid-range, it really projects in the area where the guitar sits in a mix. So these are like secret weapons for a lot of studio players. There's a lot of producers that I work with that gravitate towards the smaller body guitars to really sit really well within a mix without a lot of EQing. I keep a guitar very similar to this in the studio, Nashville strung or high strung, which are the octave strings of a 12-string only, so you get just that super high jangly tonality, and it works really well with a small body guitar. I can't wait to try that technique on one of these. These guitars not only feature a smaller body and a smaller depth, they also have a shorter scale length than the other PRS acoustics. This is 24.72 inches from the bone saddle to the bone nut. This has a solid mahogany top with a laminated mahogany back and sides, ebony bridge and ebony fingerboard. The guitars do feature the PRS Hybrid X classical bracing, which is a fan brace in the belly of the guitar with a more traditional X brace in the center, which provides a surprising amount of depth and sustain, especially for a guitar of this size. The parlor guitars have these vintage style tuners on them. They all also feature a fully satin finish. 3 different finish options. There's the vintage mahogany, there's the satin black top, which also has a natural back and sides, and then there's the charcoal, which is a little different than the black. If you look at it up close, it actually is more of a translucent dark charcoal, and you can actually see the wood grain through it, all with satin necks too. The neck carve on these it's full feeling, but it matches the guitar really well. It's not overly big or chunky, but it really fits comfortably. The onboard Fishman pickup sounds great, works really well in this guitar, but if you're a player that doesn't need amplification or you have a very specific pickup that you would like to install in yours, for the first time you can actually buy a PRS acoustic without it. Another cool thing about these kind of guitars, because of their small size, they're super portable. They're great for a travel guitar, they're great for a young player or somebody who just doesn't want the bulk of a full-size acoustic. Whether you're already a fan of this body style or you've never tried one before, these PRS SEs are like wonderful examples of the classic parlor guitar tones. I recommend you getting out and trying one for yourself and see what you think.